When the copper serpents kidnapped a little boy, they thought nobody would come looking. What they didn't know was that his father used to be the most feared biker in 3 states, and he still had brothers willing to tear the world apart to bring that boy home. Tyler "Ghost" Maddox got the call at 4:12 p.m. He was underneath a Harley, covered in grease, wrestling with a frozen clutch plate when his wife, Emily, burst into the garage, gasping for air. "Tyler, he never came home," she whispered. His blood went cold instantly. "Who didn't come home?" he demanded. "Evan," she said, her voice cracking. "The school said he got on the bus. The driver said he got off at his stop. But, he never made it to the house." Ghost stood up so fast he cracked his skull on the bike lift, but he didn't feel a thing. His heart was hammering too loudly for pain. "Where'd they find him?" he asked. Emily swallowed. "They found his backpack in a ditch off County Road 12. County Road 12. Ghost felt his stomach twist. That was Copper Serpent territory, the same gang he'd testified against 6 years ago, the gang whose leader he put in prison for life. Ghost had left the outlaw life behind, became a father, opened a shop, and tried to be a better man. But monsters never forget. He'd known they'd come for him eventually. He'd never imagined they'd come for his son. Before he even grabbed his keys, the heavy rumble of engines filled the street. One by one, bikes lined up outside the shop, the Iron Wolves, Ghost's old club, rolling in like a storm. In front stood Bear, the new president. A giant of a man. Beard like a lumberjack. Eyes like steel. "Got your message," Bear said. "We ride. No questions. No hesitation." Ghost's son was missing, that was all they needed. Within minutes, 24 bikes were roaring toward County Road 12, engines screaming like war cries. Ghost led the pack, pushing his throttle so hard the speedometer trembled. They found Evan's backpack exactly where Emily said. Tossed in the weeds. His little astronaut keychain still hanging from the zipper. But his other item, the one Ghost himself had sewn a tracker into, was missing. Evan's lucky baseball cap. He'd hidden a tracker under the lining, just in case. He always hoped he'd never need it. He tapped his phone. A single blinking dot appeared on the screen. "He's moving," Ghost said. "North. Fast. Straight toward the state line." "Serpent convoy," Bear growled. "They're moving him to their stronghold." Ghost straddled his bike. "Then we cut them off." But before they could move, Bear's brother, Recon, pulled up with a drone controller. "I got eyes in the sky," he said, sweat rolling down his temple. "They're not alone." Ghost leaned over the small screen. His heart sank. There were other kids in the convoy. 6 of them. Blindfolded. Tied. Loaded into a second truck. "What the hell is this?" Ghost whispered. But Recon knew. "Looks like they're starting their own trafficking network. Kids go missing, they sell them to the pipeline." The wolves went silent. Then someone muttered, "We're gonna kill every one of them." Ghost shook his head. "No. We're gonna get the kids back. And then, whatever happens, happens." They split up. Ghost and Bear headed to intercept the convoy. The rest moved toward where the tracker said Evan would end up, an abandoned distillery on the edge of the state forest. On the way, Ghost's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. "Ghost Maddox," the voice hissed. "Long time. Vex Ramirez. Leader of the Copper Serpents. The man Ghost destroyed years ago." "You've got something that belongs to me," Ghost said through clenched teeth. "So do you," Vex replied. "Cute kid. Shame if he disappeared." Ghost's grip tightened until his knuckles turned white. "What do you want?" "Your shop," Vex said. "Your business. And $100,000 in cash." Bring it to the distillery. His voice turned smug. Come alone, or your boy becomes ashes on the riverbank. Ghost forced his voice calm. I'll come alone, he lied. He hung up and turned to Bear. Vex expects me solo. Bear cracked a grin. Then we make him think you're alone. The convoy reached the distillery before they did. A big, rotting building, half swallowed by vines, broken windows like jagged teeth. Ghost went in alone, helmet off, hands raised. But his eyes scanned everything. Vex stepped out of the shadows. Scar across his cheek. Smirk on his face. Around him stood 15 armed men. Where's my son? Ghost asked. Safe, Vex said. For now. Then Ghost noticed something. The boy standing beside Vex wasn't Evan. It was another child, used as bait. Evan was somewhere else. You lying snake, Ghost hissed. Vex grinned wider. You really thought I'd keep your kid here? No, he's with my main crew on Lakewater Road. He'll be on a boat heading south in about 15 minutes. Ghost didn't move. Didn't blink. Because he knew something Vex didn't. The Iron Wolves had already reached Lakewater Road. And they were angry. Vex lifted his gun. You came alone like a fool. Ghost finally smiled. You sure about that? Engines thundered in the distance. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Vex's men turned toward the windows, panic spreading like wildfire. The wolves weren't alone. Clubs from 3 states had answered the call. The Black Ravens. The Dust Reapers. Dead Eyes MC. Even 2 rival clubs Ghost never expected to see again. They didn't come for Ghost. They came because someone was snatching kids. Within seconds, the bikes surrounded the building. Then hell broke loose. While the wolves stormed the distillery, Ghost broke for the north exit, jumped onto a dirt bike they'd planted earlier, and tore across the forest trail toward Lakewater Road. Recon's voice crackled through the earpiece. We've got the kids, all of them. Evan. Ghost yelled. Not yet, Recon said. He's in the boathouse. Ghost pushed the bike harder, branches slashing at his arms. His engine roared like a beast. When the trees broke open, he saw the boathouse ahead, 2 serpents dragging Evan toward a speedboat. Ghost didn't brake. He launched off an embankment, the bike flying through the air, and crashed into one of the kidnappers. Both men went down. Ghost rolled, slammed into the dock, and sprang to his feet. The remaining serpent pulled a knife, grabbing Evan by the collar. Back off, he screamed. Ghost's voice turned cold. Let him go. Make me. Ghost didn't hesitate. He charged. No fear. No pause. He slammed into the man with enough force to knock them both into the water. Ghost surfaced first, gasping, and dragged the man onto the dock. 1 punch. 2. 3. The serpent went limp. Ghost pulled Evan close. You okay, buddy? He whispered, voice breaking. Evan sobbed. Daddy. I knew you'd come. Ghost hugged him so tight Evan squeaked. He didn't care. Bear and the wolves rolled up seconds later. We got the rest, Bear said. All safe. Not a scratch. Ghost nodded, tears burning his eyes. Let's finish this. They took the serpents alive, all of them. Bound, bruised, done. When the police arrived, 50 gang members were zip-tied on the concrete, 13 children wrapped in blankets, and a mountain of evidence pointing straight to Vex's trafficking network. One cop whispered, "How the hell?" An FBI agent answered for him. "Let it go. They saved kids. That's all that matters." The wolves didn't brag. They didn't celebrate. They just rode home. Evan slept in Ghost's arms that night. No nightmares. No fear. Just a child who knew his dad would cross fire itself to protect him. The Iron Wolves changed after that day. They became guardians. Watchdogs. Shadows patrolling the community. Every missing kid. Every suspected trafficker. Every predator. They handled it. Sometimes legally. Sometimes, not so legally. Always effectively. And Vex Ramirez? Word in the prison yard was simple. He learned that there are things even monsters fear. And fathers at the head of a biker army are one of them.